Now, setting goals is like using a map on an unfamiliar road. Without it, you're just driving, unsure of where you'll end up. Once, I told my team at the start of Alibaba, we're going to democratize commerce for small businesses. That goal, though crazy to some, gave us absolute focus. When you write your goals, you're not just organizing your thoughts, you're making a commitment to yourself. This is the beginning of any meaningful journey. When I began my journey, I was just an English teacher in Hangzhou, China, with no money, no technology, and no major connections. All I had was a clear vision and written goals of what I wanted to achieve. I carried those goals in my pocket, on a piece of paper, so I'd never forget why I was doing all of this. Because deep down, if you don't know where you want to go, any path will seem like the right one. If not now, when? If not me, who? This phrase stayed with me as a constant reminder that immediate action is the first step toward transformation. But goals are not just words on paper. They are promises you make to your future. Imagine being in line at KFC, as I was, and being rejected while all 23 other candidates got the job. That could have broken me, but my goal made me rise again. When you're clear about where you want to go, every obstacle becomes just a curve in the road, not the end of the journey. Clarity in your goals also keeps you focused. The world is full of distractions: social media, others' opinions, internal fears. Knowing exactly what you want is like having a compass. Even in the middle of a storm, you'll always know where you're heading. Remember, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. It's about aligning yourself with your goals, not trying to reshape the world around you. Finally, never underestimate the power of revisiting your goals daily. I kept a board on the wall with our initial goals for Alibaba. Whenever I felt lost, I looked at that board and reminded myself why I started. Your goals are more than a list. They're a reflection of what you want to become. And believe me, when you keep that alive within you, the world conspires to help you get there. I was never the kind of person to accept no as the final answer. Being rejected from 30 jobs and failing university exams multiple times could have turned me into a bitter person, but I chose to believe these challenges had something to teach me. After all, if your mind is a battlefield, you decide whether to cultivate optimism or surrender to despair. The power of positive thinking lies in transforming "this is impossible" into "what can I do to get there?" I often told my team, when you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring problems, it's about seeing them as disguised opportunities. During Alibaba's early years, many said we were crazy to compete with global giants. To me, the world truly belongs to those crazy enough to believe in their ideas, as they are the ones who change the game. Adopting a positive mindset helped me see solutions where others only saw barriers. It's not magic. It's the ability to see possibilities instead of limitations. Cultivating positive thoughts requires practice, like training a muscle. Once, while we faced a financial crisis, I encouraged the team by saying, "Winter is coming, but that's when we prepare the seeds for spring." The metaphor may seem simple, but it carried the truth that difficulties are temporary and necessary for growth. When you believe this, no challenge seems insurmountable. However, being positive doesn't mean living in a bubble. It means training your mind to find meaning and purpose in every situation, even the toughest ones. The hardships I faced, from KFC rejection to investor failures, shaped my resilience. I approached every situation with the belief that something better awaited on the other side. Positive thinking doesn't remove the pain, but it gives you the strength to overcome it. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. That's because our thoughts guide our actions, and our actions determine our outcomes. So challenge yourself to train your mind daily. Small acts of gratitude, positive affirmations, and visualizations of success can transform even the darkest days. The question is, are you willing to train your mind to win? The first time I failed an exam, I felt a mix of shame and doubt. By the second time, I realized life was testing me. Persistence, I discovered, is not just about trying again. It's about believing even when everything tells you to quit. Throughout my journey, I was rejected by universities, jobs, and even investors. Yet every no I received was like a stone in a bridge I was building towards success. Persistence, to me, is an act of faith. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating the moment, even amidst chaos. When I started Alibaba, we had a small office, no money, and the internet was something few in China knew about. It was in this environment that I learned persistence means seeing what no one else can. I told the team, success is like climbing a mountain. It doesn't matter how many times you slip. What matters is that you keep climbing. The biggest challenge of persistence is overcoming negative thoughts that inevitably arise. When I was rejected in 30 job interviews, many in my place might have given up. But I believed that if I kept trying, the world would eventually give in. Think of it this way. Water cuts through rock not because of strength, but because of consistency. It's this consistency that separates mediocrity from those who truly make a difference. Persistence is also a habit. The more you get back up after falling, the more natural it becomes. It's like learning to ride a bike. You may fall at first, but with practice, the tumbles become less frequent. And just like with a bike, the secret is to keep pedaling. Once an investor told me, "Your idea of e-commerce in China will never work." He was wrong. It worked because we didn't give up when it seemed impossible. In the end, persistence is trusting the process. You may not know how or when things will align, but you must have faith that if you keep going, you'll find a way. So every time you face failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because the truth is, if persistence is your ally, there are no limits to what you can achieve. At the start of Alibaba, our priority wasn't to make money. We wanted something bigger, to transform people's lives. I remember telling my team, customers first, employees second, and shareholders third. Many investors didn't like this approach, but I knew that to build something truly meaningful, the focus had to be on impact. After all, success is a direct reflection of the value you deliver to others. Serving first is a powerful yet often overlooked principle. When you work to enrich others' lives, the rewards come naturally. For example, when we created Singles Day in China, our goal wasn't just to sell more. We wanted to help small businesses reach millions of consumers. It was a move that changed the way e-commerce works globally, but it started with the simple idea of serving small entrepreneurs. This principle isn't just about business. It's a way of life. Think of it as planting seeds. If you tend to the soil and water it diligently, the harvest will inevitably follow. When we prioritize service, we create deep human connections that foster loyalty and admiration. During a crisis in Alibaba's early days, I cut my own salary to ensure no one on the team was laid off. This decision reinforced our commitment to people and solidified the culture that made us what we are today. Serving also requires humility. Sometimes it means putting others' needs above your own, even when it's inconvenient. During my travels to promote Alibaba in international markets, I made it a point to speak with small merchants to understand their pains and needs. These conversations taught me that real power lies in listening and addressing the needs of those who trust you. So I always say, if you want true success, serve first. Don't worry about reaping the rewards immediately. Focus on creating value. Because in the end, the impact you have on people's lives defines your legacy. And the big question remains, how can you start serving today, in your community, at work, or even at home? Fear is something we all face. I've felt it many times, like in Alibaba's early days when we were surrounded by uncertainty. But what I discovered is that fear can either paralyze you or become a powerful lever. It all depends on how you choose to confront it. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, I asked myself, what's the purpose of this? What impact do I want to create? It's amazing how, when you connect to your purpose, fear diminishes and the path becomes clearer. I remember when we presented Alibaba's concept to investors for the first time. I knew many would laugh or reject us, and they did. But to me, the purpose was bigger than the rejection. Helping small businesses connect to the world was a cause worth every moment of discomfort. When you focus on the why instead of the how, you discover a courage you didn't know you had. At its core, fear is a matter of perspective. Once, while speaking to my team, I said, if not now, when? If not us, who? This isn't just rhetoric. It's a reminder that action is the only way to overcome fear. What you fear may actually signal what matters most to you. See it as a challenge, not a barrier. Overcoming fear doesn't mean ignoring it. It means recognizing it and deciding to move forward anyway. During Alibaba's international expansion, we faced criticism and doubts about whether a Chinese company could compete globally. Many said it was impossible, but we were determined to prove otherwise. We didn't let fear stop us because we knew exactly what we wanted to achieve and why. The secret is transforming fear into motivation. When you have a clear purpose, every obstacle becomes a test of your determination. Remember, purpose is like a lighthouse on a dark night. It guides your steps and lights the way, even when everything feels uncertain. The question isn't whether you'll feel fear, but how you'll react to it. And that, my friend, defines your destiny.
If there's one thing I've learned throughout my journey, it's that the greatest asset you have is yourself. Before starting Alibaba, I was just an English teacher. I had no money, no connections, and no entrepreneurial experience. But I knew that if I kept learning, I could create something meaningful. That constant pursuit of knowledge prepared me to face challenges I couldn't have imagined. After all, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. Investing in yourself is an act of courage and vision. It doesn't just mean acquiring more degrees or expensive courses. It's about learning every day, whether by reading inspiring books, talking to wise people, or experiencing situations that push you out of your comfort zone. Furthermore, taking care of your physical well-being is just as essential as developing your mind. During Alibaba's early years, we worked exhausting hours, but I made sure to exercise and eat healthily. A healthy body supports a resilient mind. Small daily practices like meditating or walking outdoors can be as transformative as an MBA class. Personal growth also involves embracing mistakes as learning opportunities. When I was rejected from multiple job interviews, I analyzed my failures to understand what I could improve. Later, when investors doubted Alibaba, I used their criticism as fuel to refine my vision. Each obstacle overcome made me more prepared for future challenges. Ultimately, investing in yourself is a lifelong commitment. You are the one resource that will be with you at every moment. So ask yourself, what book will you read this month? What skill will you start developing? What idea will you put into action? Because in the end, your success will be a direct reflection of how much you are willing to grow. Often we are so consumed by big dreams that we forget the value of each small step that brings us closer to them. When we started Alibaba, we had no money, no technology, and not even a defined business model. All we had was the determination to do something meaningful. By focusing on short-term goals, one task at a time, we built a solid foundation for the future. As I used to say, dream big but start small. The magic of living in the present lies in appreciating the process. I remember an incredible story about the beginnings of Airbnb. Two friends needed money to pay rent, so they decided to rent out air mattresses in their apartment. Today, it's one of the largest companies in the world. Small steps might seem insignificant at the moment, but they carry the power to transform your life when you dedicate yourself to them with purpose and attention. Short-term goals create momentum, and this movement keeps you motivated. During Alibaba's early years, every accomplishment was celebrated as a major victory, a new client, a new idea implemented. Being present in each of those small wins taught me that while we work towards something grand, the sparkle of life lies in the smaller, equally important moments. Being micro-ambitious doesn't mean abandoning your big dreams. On the contrary, it's the smartest way to achieve them. Think of a ladder. No one reaches the top by jumping all at once. You need to climb step by step, keeping your eyes on the final destination, but your feet firmly planted in the present. This balance is what makes the difference between dreaming and achieving. So ask yourself, what small step can you take today? Whether it's writing down that idea you've had for ages, learning a new skill, or simply appreciating the progress you've already made. Because the future is built here, in the now. And the more you value the present, the more it works in your favor. Taking care of your body is not just about physical health. It's a practice that transforms the mind. During Alibaba's early years, I realized that if I wanted to tackle complex challenges, I needed to be fit both mentally and physically. Exercise became an indispensable tool. It wasn't about achieving the perfect physique, but about aligning my body with the focus and energy needed to grow. After all, a healthy body supports a resilient mind. For me, exercise is more than movement. It's an act of self-care. I practice Tai Chi Chuan, a martial art that combines balance, breathing, and concentration. This practice not only helps me relax, but also find clarity amidst chaos. Some of the best ideas for Alibaba came after a Tai Chi session. Physical movement frees the mind from the weight of daily worries, creating space for creativity and problem-solving. Maintaining the habit of exercising is also a lesson in discipline. Just like in the business world, consistency is key. You don't need to run a marathon to feel the benefits. Simple activities like Tai Chi Chuan, swimming, or walking can make a significant difference. The important thing is to start and maintain the rhythm, even when motivation wanes. In the end, discipline triumphs where willpower falters. The impact goes beyond the physical. I found that by taking care of my body, I was also strengthening my emotional resilience. In times of crisis, such as when investors rejected us or market challenges arose, staying active helped balance my mind and find clarity. Exercise doesn't eliminate problems, but it gives you the strength to face them with courage. So why not start today? Choose something simple, like a short run, a stretching session, or even exploring Tai Chi Chuan, and see how it affects not just your body, but also your mindset. Remember, the time you invest now is a gift to your future. And the question is, what small movement can you make today to transform your life? Before becoming an entrepreneur, I was an English teacher, and that experience shaped much of who I am today. Teaching taught me that sharing knowledge not only transforms other people's lives, but also deepens our understanding of the world. When I started Alibaba, I encouraged my team to be generous with what they knew. Because when we teach, we not only help others grow, but we also strengthen our own journey. Being a teacher doesn't necessarily mean being in a classroom. It can be as simple as sharing an idea, a skill, or a life lesson you've learned. During Alibaba's early years, I would tell my team, be like a candle that lights others without losing its flame. This act of generosity creates a cycle of continuous learning for both the teacher and the learner. When you teach, you also learn to communicate better, structure your thoughts, and become clearer about what you believe in. I remember trying to explain the concept of e-commerce to people who had never used the internet. It was challenging, but it forced me to simplify complex ideas, which ultimately made me a more effective communicator. The same applies to any field. Teaching sharpens your skills and amplifies your impact. Moreover, teaching is a way of giving back. When we traveled to expand Alibaba into international markets, I always took the time to talk to young entrepreneurs, sharing our challenges and solutions. This not only inspired them, but also connected me to their reality, creating a powerful exchange. This spirit of generosity is what builds strong, supportive communities. So, what lesson can you share today? Perhaps something you've learned in your career or a life experience that transformed you. Because in the end, true success isn't just measured by what we achieve, but by the impact we have in inspiring and empowering others. And the question remains, who can you help grow today? You may not always start by doing what you love, but you can start preparing to get there. When I taught English, I enjoyed helping people understand a new language, but I knew my true dream was bigger: to create something that connected the world. Still, I dedicated myself to that moment while learning and organizing for the next step. The secret lies in building a plan and working on it, even when your current situation doesn't reflect your biggest dreams. Organizing yourself is like planting the seeds of the future you desire. I remember once telling my team, no matter how small the beginning is, what matters is preparing for where you want to go. This can mean acquiring skills, saving money, or simply gaining clarity about what truly matters to you. Small steps taken consistently lead to big changes. During Alibaba's early years, I didn't know exactly how to build a tech company, but I knew I needed to learn about the digital market. I spent hours studying global trends, observing companies I admired, and absorbing everything I could. That phase of learning was crucial in preparing me to lead a company in a sector just emerging in China. It taught me that being organized is being one step ahead. When you start organizing, you realize that limited resources aren't obstacles, but opportunities for innovation. For example, even without technology or financial support, we created a learning environment at Alibaba that valued creative solutions. That culture began with small adjustments and became a fundamental part of our success. It's not about having everything now, but about creating a foundation for what's to come. So ask yourself, what can you start organizing today to make your future more aligned with your dreams? It could be as simple as setting aside 30 minutes daily to study something new or planning the next step in your career. Because doing what you love may not happen immediately, but with organization and effort, it may be much closer than you think.
Gratitude is one of the most underrated forces of success. In the early days of Alibaba, despite the challenges we faced, lack of resources, rejection by investors, and a team working tirelessly, I made it a point to acknowledge and appreciate the people and opportunities we had. Gratitude reminds us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. It's a simple practice, but one that amplifies our potential to succeed. Expressing gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the little things. I made sure to thank my team for their dedication, even during our most difficult moments. This simple act created a sense of belonging and mutual respect. Gratitude also keeps you grounded, ensuring that success doesn't lead to arrogance. As I often say, the key to success is remembering where you started and who helped you along the way. Gratitude is also a powerful motivator. When you're thankful for what you have, you approach challenges with a positive mindset. I remember one particularly tough phase at Alibaba when our finances were strained. Instead of focusing on what was going wrong, I reminded myself of the small victories we'd achieved and the belief our customers had in us. That gratitude gave me the strength to push forward. In business and in life, gratitude builds relationships. When we expanded Alibaba globally, I would express my appreciation to our partners and customers personally. This fostered loyalty and trust, which were instrumental to our growth. People remember when you make them feel valued, and that is often more impactful than any deal or transaction. So, who or what are you grateful for today? Take a moment to reflect and express it, whether it's through a kind word, a written note, or even a silent acknowledgement. Gratitude has the power to turn ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities and keeps you connected to what truly matters. If I had waited for the perfect conditions to start Alibaba, it would have never happened. We had no money, no expertise, and hardly any resources. But I believe that action creates momentum, and momentum brings opportunities. The truth is, waiting for perfection is just another way to procrastinate. Start now, and let the process refine you along the way. Taking action doesn't mean being reckless. It means being brave enough to begin despite the uncertainties. In Alibaba's early years, there were countless moments when we didn't have all the answers. But each step forward, no matter how small, revealed the next piece of the puzzle. Progress doesn't come from standing still. It comes from moving forward, even when the path is unclear. I often say, if not now, when? If not me, who? This mindset helped me push past self-doubt and take responsibility for making things happen. I didn't wait for perfect knowledge or perfect timing. Instead, I focused on what could be done with what we had. That action-oriented approach allowed Alibaba to grow into what it is today. Perfection is a myth. In reality, every successful person or business is built on a series of imperfect actions. When we launched our first e-commerce platform, it was far from flawless. But by taking that leap, we learned, adapted, and improved. If we had waited for everything to be ideal, we would have missed the opportunity altogether. What's stopping you from taking the first step today? Don't let fear of imperfection hold you back. Begin with what you have and where you are, and trust that the journey will shape you. The sooner you act, the sooner you'll see progress, no matter how small. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon of patience and consistency. Building powerful habits takes time, but they become the foundation for extraordinary achievements. When we started Alibaba, the daily discipline of learning, strategizing, and solving problems was what propelled us forward. Habits are the engine of long-term success, and time is the fuel that keeps them running. Creating habits isn't about dramatic overnight changes. It's about small, consistent actions that compound over time. For instance, I made it a point to dedicate time each day to understanding the evolving digital landscape, even when our immediate priorities seemed overwhelming. That daily investment became a habit that gave me the insights to navigate Alibaba's growth. The challenge lies in repetition. At first, building a habit feels unnatural, but with time, it becomes second nature. Think of it as filling a jar drop by drop. Each small effort may seem insignificant on its own, but eventually, the jar overflows. This is the power of time in habit formation. It transforms persistence into results. Habits also anchor you during uncertainty. During crises at Alibaba, the habits of disciplined problem-solving and consistent communication kept the team focused. Instead of being overwhelmed by the enormity of the challenges, we relied on our daily routines
to break problems into manageable pieces. Habits provided clarity and stability. What habit can you start building today? Whether it's reading for 10 minutes, exercising, or practicing gratitude, remember that time will amplify your efforts. Success is less about dramatic breakthroughs and more about the quiet, steady accumulation of meaningful actions. Changing how you think is essential for progress. When I started Alibaba, I had to reframe my mindset from that of a teacher to that of an entrepreneur. It wasn't just about thinking positively. It was about replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. You can't pour new wine into an old bottle without cleaning it first. Likewise, you need to clear out negative thoughts to make room for a new perspective. Reprogramming your mindset starts with visualization. I would often picture what Alibaba could become, even when we were just a small team in a cramped apartment. That mental image gave me the confidence to act boldly. Seeing your future success in your mind is like planting a flag on the summit. It guides every step you take toward it. But visualization alone isn't enough. You must identify and remove the thoughts that hold you back. Self-doubt, fear of failure, and past rejections can cloud your judgment. I was rejected 30 times for jobs, and each rejection left its mark. But I consciously chose to let those experiences teach me rather than define me. Clearing your mind is as important as filling it with new ideas. Reprogramming your mindset also requires surrounding yourself with the right influences. I surrounded myself with books, mentors, and a team that believed in growth. The environment you create shapes the thoughts you cultivate. If you want to think bigger, expose yourself to bigger ideas and people who inspire you. What's one limiting belief you can challenge today? Remember, your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. Reprogram it, and you'll reprogram your life. Success starts in your mind. I often told my team, train and prepare to a level of excellence where your problems won't bother you. When you operate at a level 10, the challenges at level 2 no longer feel overwhelming. This mindset doesn't mean arrogance. It means preparing so thoroughly that success becomes the only logical outcome. Preparation is the key. During Alibaba's early years, we spent hours refining our ideas, improving our systems, and learning from every mistake. This relentless pursuit of excellence created a confidence that no obstacle could shake. Success isn't about luck. It's about stacking the odds in your favor through preparation and effort. Living as if success is inevitable also means embracing failure as part of the process. When I was rejected from 30 jobs, I didn't see it as the end. I saw it as a step towards something greater. Each failure taught me a lesson, and those lessons built the foundation for future victories. This mindset also requires consistency. You don't achieve greatness through occasional bursts of effort. You achieve it through daily discipline. Whether it's honing your skills, building your network, or staying focused on your goals, success is the cumulative result of small, consistent actions over time. What steps can you take today to prepare for success tomorrow? Live as if success is inevitable, and you'll find yourself not just dreaming, but achieving extraordinary things. Nothing great has ever been achieved without inspiration. When we started Alibaba, we were 18 people crammed into a small apartment with no money, no resources, and no guarantees of success. But what kept us going was a shared vision and the inspiration to create something that could change the world. Inspiration is like a flame. It lights the way forward, even when the path is uncertain. Finding inspiration isn't just about waiting for a spark. It's about actively seeking out sources of motivation. For me, books, stories, and people who overcame adversity became a reservoir of inspiration. I would read biographies of entrepreneurs, innovators, and leaders who transformed challenges into opportunities. These stories reminded me that obstacles are part of the journey, not the end of it. Inspiration also comes from the people around you. I often drew strength from my team's dedication and resilience. During our toughest moments at Alibaba, seeing their commitment reminded me of why we started in the first place. Inspiration is contagious. When you're inspired, you inspire others, creating a cycle of motivation that propels everyone forward. But inspiration isn't just about big moments or grand ideas. Sometimes it's found in the simplest of things: a kind word, a small victory, or even a failure that teaches a valuable lesson. When I look back on Alibaba's early days, I realize it wasn't just the big milestones that mattered. It was the everyday moments of perseverance and creativity that kept the dream alive. So, where do you find your inspiration? Whether it's through books, conversations, or quiet moments of reflection, seek out what fuels your fire. Because when you're inspired, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Small, consistent changes lead to extraordinary results. When we started Alibaba, we didn't make massive leaps overnight. Instead, we focused on improving bit by bit, refining processes, learning from mistakes, and adjusting to challenges as they came. Over time, these small changes compounded into the transformative growth that built the company we are today. The power of small changes lies in their ability to build momentum. For example, when we first launched Alibaba, our website was far from perfect. But instead of waiting for the ideal version, we kept making incremental improvements based on feedback and performance. Each tiny tweak brought us closer to the platform that would connect millions of businesses worldwide. Small changes also create a mindset of continuous improvement. When you're focused on daily progress, you become more adaptable and open to learning. During the early days of Alibaba, I encouraged my team to view every challenge as an opportunity to improve, even if the improvement was only 1%. Those small wins added up, transforming not just the company, but also the people within it. Think of small changes like planting seeds. At first, they might seem insignificant, but with time and care, they grow into something remarkable. Whether it's adopting a new habit, refining a skill, or shifting your perspective, each step moves you closer to your goals. Progress doesn't always have to be dramatic, it just needs to be consistent. What small change can you make today? Remember, success isn't built in a day. It's built in the accumulation of small, thoughtful actions over time. And when you commit to those changes, you'll be amazed at how far they can take you.
Wealth is more than money. When I started Alibaba, our goal wasn't just to create financial success, it was to create a platform that could make a meaningful impact on people's lives. True wealth, I've learned, lies in purpose, peace, and the contributions you make to the world. Money is just a byproduct of the value you create. For me, wealth starts with having a clear sense of purpose. During Alibaba's early days, our purpose was simple: to empower small businesses and help them compete on a global scale. That mission gave us the drive to overcome countless challenges. Purpose transforms work into something meaningful and ensures that your success benefits more than just yourself. Wealth also means building relationships and nurturing gratitude. Some of the most rewarding moments in my journey have been seeing how Alibaba has helped small businesses thrive, or hearing stories of entrepreneurs who succeeded because of our platform. These human connections are far more valuable than any financial achievement. Another component of wealth is peace of mind. In the rush to succeed, many people overlook the importance of mental and emotional well-being. I've always believed that true wealth comes from balancing ambition with contentment. This balance allows you to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Finally, wealth is about giving back. Whether it's through education, mentorship, or creating opportunities for others, the ability to contribute to society is the highest form of success. So how do you define wealth? Is it just a number in your bank account, or is it the legacy you leave behind? Because real wealth is measured not by what you have, but by the lives you touch.
Jack Ma, the visionary entrepreneur and co-founder of Alibaba, has once again left audiences captivated with his powerful and inspiring insights. In a recent talk, he highlighted 12 crucial lessons that every individual in their mid-20s should internalize before it's too late. These lessons aren't just theoretical. They are grounded in the challenges, failures, and triumphs that define Jack Ma's own journey from a humble English teacher to one of the most influential business leaders in the world. Jack Ma emphasized the importance of clarity and goals, reminding us that success begins with a clear vision. If not now, when? If not me, who? He challenged the audience, urging them to stop waiting for the perfect moment and take action now. He also explored the transformative power of positive thinking, showing how a resilient mindset can turn obstacles into opportunities. His words resonated deeply as he recounted his personal struggles with rejection and how persistence, fueled by faith, became his secret weapon. One of the most thought-provoking points was the significance of serving others first. Jack Ma recounted how Alibaba's focus on empowering small businesses, rather than chasing quick profits, became the cornerstone of its success. He connected this to overcoming fear with purpose, explaining that when your why is strong enough, it drowns out the noise of self-doubt. These lessons were woven together with actionable advice on investing in oneself, living in the present, and taking small, consistent steps toward big dreams. In his usual humorous yet profound style, Jack Ma used examples like the early struggles of Airbnb to illustrate how small actions in the present can pave the way for monumental success. He also touched on the role of physical and mental wellness, explaining how practices like Tai Chi Chuan help him maintain balance in a demanding world. The power of teaching and sharing knowledge was another key takeaway, as Jack encouraged everyone to be a candle that lights others without losing its flame. Throughout the talk, Jack Ma challenged the audience to stay organized and plan for the life they truly want, even if it feels out of reach today. His perspective on gratitude as a foundation for success added a deeply human touch to his advice. He stressed that recognizing the people and opportunities that shape us can amplify our potential and create a ripple effect of positivity. But perhaps the most empowering message came with his reminder to take action, even when conditions aren't perfect. Waiting for perfection, he argued, is just a form of procrastination. Instead, progress is built on imperfect actions that lead to learning and growth. Jack Ma also highlighted the patience required to build habits and how reprogramming our mindset is key to achieving long-term success. Finally, he left the audience with a profound thought: live as if success is inevitable. This philosophy, coupled with preparation and persistence, creates a mentality that not only overcomes challenges but thrives in their presence. Jack Ma's insights transcend age, culture, and profession. They are universal truths that, when applied, can lead to personal growth, resilience, and an unshakable belief in one's potential. These 12 lessons are more than advice. They're a roadmap for anyone seeking to transform their life. Now that you've uncovered these 12 powerful lessons shared by Jack Ma, it's time to reflect on what resonated most with you. What step will you take today to redefine your goals, overcome fear, or build habits that bring you closer to success? Remember, transformation doesn't come from waiting, it comes from action. These lessons remind us that growth starts with small, deliberate changes and a commitment to continuous improvement. Which of Jack Ma's insights, whether it's investing in yourself, practicing gratitude, or reprogramming your mindset, will you apply first? Let us know in the comments which point inspired you the most. If you ever feel stuck, revisit these lessons as a source of motivation. Success isn't a straight line, but with persistence, positivity, and the right mindset, you can achieve extraordinary things. And don't forget to share this knowledge with someone who needs a dose of inspiration today. It could be the spark they're waiting for. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content like this. You've taken a step toward your personal growth today, and there's much more to explore. Be sure to check out our next video. From Zero to Billionaire, Jack Ma's powerful mindset for entrepreneurs, for even more insights that will transform your journey.